New tonight on KGW News. Street racing, and almost every night.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty intense.
The latest erupting in gunfire that sent a child to the hospital.
Plus, the plea today from family of those hurt and those killed when a car careened into a homeless camp.
So we do not feel that bail is warranted at this time.
And what leaders say is part of a solution to both the homeless crisis and police shortage goes citywide.
When we work together as a city, we can accomplish great things.
Your news starts now.
Good evening, I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. We begin tonight with the toll of a night of illegal street racing. Multiple people were shot, including a child and teenagers.
And all that burning rubber and revving engines, to say nothing of the bullets, appears to be a growing problem. Catherine Cook talked with neighbors who say they are frustrated with the police response, and Catherine now literally losing sleep.
Yeah, David, they're buying noise-canceling headphones and box fans to drown out the sound, but clearly all that noise is nothing compared to last night's shooting. Neighbors hope it will push city leaders to make ending these races a priority.
It's pretty out of control.
Bullet casings, nearly 100 of them, littering North Marine Drive. Evidence, police say, of a shooting on the 6300 block early Monday morning. At least 4 people were hit, including an 11-year-old boy, though police say he may have been hurt by shrapnel. The other victims, a 16-year-old boy, an 18-year-old woman, and a 21-year-old man. All had non-life-threatening injuries. Police arrested 21-year-old Adrian Donhello Ramirez, who was also shot. It happened around midnight after hours of illegal street racing on Marine Drive. Police learned kids as young as 5 months old were there watching.
It's pretty wild. It's pretty intense.
Stan and others in St. John's are at a loss over the street races. They happen multiple nights a week, as long as it's not raining, often drawing hundreds of spectators. The sound travels for miles.
They have an infant right next door. My neighbors came home. We have a 6-year-old, and it's loud at night. You can't sleep through it.
As he often does, Stan called 911 several times over the weekend. He says a dispatcher redirected him to the non-emergency line. He's also complained to officers in person about the street races.
The cops aren't going. They've told me straight up they won't go out there. So it's just the Wild West,
We need action by the police.
Steve, another St. John's neighbor, took this video along Marine Drive Saturday night. The noise, as usual, was keeping him and his wife awake. They wanted to see this for themselves.
And when we drove through, we were one of the only people just passing through, and everybody else around us was street racing around us. We had a motorcycle right on our tail. I don't know if they were trying to intimidate us or what was happening, but there was cars parked in the middle of the road with no lights or flashers on, so we kind of had to make sure to maneuver around that and not hit anybody.
The noise is one thing, but Steve and others believe this is the real public danger. Many neighbors avoid this stretch because of it. Now they have another reason.
The shooting kind of made it known that they were there, and hopefully the police will take more action next time rather than kind of sitting back.
In a statement, Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle said, "We are fortunate that no one was more seriously injured or killed over the weekend. Unfortunately, these take considerable resources to address and can be hazardous for not just those involved, but innocent road users who often are affected. As a city, we must work together to hold those committing these illegal street takeovers accountable. For now, neighbors like Stan wait and listen for results."
Terrible. They need to get control of it out there.
The police bureau has cracked down on street racing in the past, including targeted efforts last fall. They say that led to a decline in street racing at the time, but last night's event shows them it's starting back up again. David.
What a nightmare for those neighbors. Catherine Cook, thank you for that report, Catherine. Well, meanwhile, police are trying to figure out how to curb gun violence in one Northeast Portland neighborhood. We're going to zoom in here. It's a homicide last night near 82nd and Milton. It was the 4th deadly shooting, the 4th, near that intersection in the past 8 months.
It seems to be a regular occurrence in this neighborhood. It is disheartening. The loss of life and the violence and, people not feeling safe in the neighborhood anymore.
So as of yet, there's no information about the suspect or the victim in last night's homicide. Police say in addition to those 4 deadly shootings, another half dozen people have been shot and injured nearby. That includes another shooting just last Friday. Investigators say the focused intervention team, the enhanced community safety team are aware of these shootings. They are working on a plan. No one has been arrested yet for any of those homicides.
The man accused of killing 4 people after crashing into a homeless camp in Salem over the weekend will stay behind bars for now. A judge today denied him bail after victims' families pleaded with the court to keep him in jail. Prosecutors say he had a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit, and he was going 70 miles an hour when he lost control of the car. Our Christine Pitawanich was there for the arraignment.
My son's not a murderer.
Those are the words of a mother who just saw her son, 24-year-old Enrique Rodriguez, appear in court. He's accused of killing 4 people and injuring 2 others when police say he drove into a homeless encampment at Front and Division Streets in Salem around 2 a.m. Sunday. They say alcohol may have been a factor.
I raised a good kid. I'm a single parent and I raised good kids.
Inside the courtroom, people whose loved ones were killed or hurt also spoke.
I got a lot of hate and anger with this over here.
The loss of 4 innocent people and the extent of my daughter's injuries, as well as others, that we do not feel that bail is warranted at this time.
It was just a blur. It happened so quick.
Ryan Wright was there when it happened. The terrible story told simply through these images. Tire marks on the road showing the car crossing a lane of traffic and careening into tents where people slept.
I could have reached out and touched the car as it flew by.
People sleeping on the streets so close to passing traffic are especially vulnerable to death or injury. In Portland, there have been several similar incidents involving drivers and houseless people near the roadway getting killed or injured. They resulted in Mayor Ted Wheeler's ban on homeless camps along busy roads. Back in Salem, advocates say drivers have hit and killed unhoused people before in this area.
I hope that people, when they drive through, will treat it like a school zone. They'll slow down, they'll look both ways.
An ODOT representative confirmed the agency owns this piece of land. They say crews were slated to come through and clean up the area on Wednesday. Meantime, houseless people here are trying to come to terms with the loss of their friends and what happened.
That was Christine Pitawanich reporting. And today we also learned the names of the 4 people who died in that crash. They are Jawand Beck, Luke Cagey, Joe Posada III, and Rochelle Zamacona. 2 others are still in the hospital in fair condition.
Our thoughts with all of them and their families. Okay, crews broke ground today on what they hope will help in our homeless crisis. It is one of 30 projects in the works across the metro area made possible by a bond measure voters approved in 2018. So 143 new affordable housing units are going up in Happy Valley. The development on Southeast 162nd is called Good Shepherd Village. Over $16 million from that metro bond going toward this development.
The need is far greater than the supply of housing, so these 143 new homes are going to be really important for the folks who live here, but it's just one piece of solving the crisis of housing affordability and homeless in our region.
One small piece of a huge puzzle. The home should be done by the end of next year.
Now to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, a man from Indiana pleaded guilty today to arming rioters with baseball bats during the Portland protests of 2020. Malik Mohammed is also accused of providing supplies for Molotov cocktails on at least 2 of the protest nights. And he's accused of smashing windows at several buildings. The U.S. Attorney's Office says he has a history of traveling to different states to take part in anti-police demonstrations. He could get up to 10 years in prison.
Portland police have arrested a man they say exposed himself to a 12-year-old girl this morning. Police say he was standing on Southeast Steel Street near Bloomington Park when the girl passed him, headed to a neighbor's house. The man allegedly approached her with his pants down, then asked her to have sex. The victim's family witnessed this and then chased the man away. They gave the police a detailed description, which investigators say led to the quick arrest.
Oregon will no longer require people to be residents of a state to make use of its Death with Dignity law. The law allows people who are terminally ill to get lethal medication. A lawsuit challenged the state's residency requirement. In a settlement filed today, the Oregon Health Authority and Medical Board agreed to stop enforcing it and asked the legislature to remove it from the law.
Well, let's talk about the war in Ukraine and another round of talks aimed at putting an end to the relentless attacks. Now, Tuesday's talks will take place in Istanbul, and Ukraine's president now says his country is prepared to discuss its neutrality. That is something the Russian president has demanded, and that would put an end to Ukraine's bid to join NATO. Ukraine also says it's open to compromising on the fate of Donbass, that is the heavily contested region in the country's east.